I wish they would just give me the opportunity to stand now. That's how I felt. You know, I want, yeah, man. So I wanted to stand and look at the person like this in their casket. That's how badly I was hurt.
How did you deal with that?
I want to know.
I stopped thinking that it was about the person, and I came to the acknowledgement that it was about me.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chicks Chat, where the chicks
Chat.
We are at another episode.
Yes.
And today we'll be looking at the topic forgive and
Forget.
remember and
Regret.
Alright, so I'll go again. Forgive and forget or remember and regret. Don't forget though to subscribe below and hit that notification bell, like, comment.
And share.
Alright, so first we'll start by, I don't know, probably defining the term forgive.
Right.
So I don't know, look at me.
Maybe we like
As
it.
she always
Yeah.
right out the things them.
Google says,
Dr.
we love
Google?
Google. People,
Dr.
internet,
Google.
you have to use Google for the right reason.
Resources.
Google is saying that in general, forgiveness involves an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. And I will add to that, maybe caused by someone close to you or otherwise.
So forgive and
Forget.
or remember and regret. What say you?
Hi.
What say you, Kamara?
All right, we're not looking at Sash today. We're looking at
I'm
Kamara.
looking at, and funny
Yeah.
enough, I'm looking at you.
Let's share. All right, forgiveness. Let's go with forgiveness. All right, I am no expert. Far from it.
Right.
But what I do know about forgiveness is that it's one of the hardest things to do when you've been really hurt.
Yep.
Now, I can share that I've been in a situation where I was, Lord Jesus, when all people that say are caught between a rock and a hard place. And I found it very difficult to forgive.
Right.
Not in my personal relationship, but in a relationship. And I found it very, very hard. So much so, the person hurt me so bad that I was thinking that when I prefer to see that somebody in a casket.
Right.
That's strong.
Yes.
That's how I felt. And I was struggling. Let me say struggling. Somebody was
Tug and war.
fighting
Yes,
me.
yes.
Somebody was fighting me. Somebody was really fighting. Like, that's how I felt because I could not let it go.
Right.
I'm telling you, when me tell us it tear me up,
Yes.
It tear me. My heart race, me nervous, me have anxiety. And I'm saying that I would just prefer to stand. I wish they would just give me the opportunity to stand now. That's how I felt. I want, yeah, man. So I wanted to stand and look at the person like this in their casket. That's how badly I was hurt.
How did you deal
Right.
with that?
I want to know.
I stopped thinking that it was about the person, and I came to the acknowledgement that it was about me because I had to do it for me. And I spoke to somebody. I couldn't pay for counseling because counseling is so expensive. So I called my pastor one day and I spoke to pastor and I said, Pastor boy, this not feel good.
Did the person think that they have hurt you? Just after
Or they know.
I don't think so.
Do they know that you felt how you felt?
No. And I called Pastor and I said, Pastor, we're not supposed to feel as a Christian. This cannot be it. I tell her, say, Kamara, tear up in her heart. It's almost like I was heartless. And I stopped looking at it from the perspective where I was doing this for the person. And I started looking at it from the perspective where I was doing it for me. And that is how I started my journey and my transition from bitter. When they say bitter,
To
gall,
release,
gall
yes.
bitter. Not sure when the
Yes.
gall bust by the meat.
Yes,
Bitter.
it bitter.
That's what I say.
Yes,
man.
Yes,
Country
yes,
girl, not true. So I had to move from there.
that.
And I had to work. I tell us I work, work. So that is how I move from it. But I know that you have to start with you.
You know what
It's
that
not
sounds
about
like?
the other person.
That sounds like this. Forgiveness is not about condoning a behavior. It's about releasing yourself of whatever somebody
The
had done for
stronghold.
you. Not for them particularly, but for you, so that you can have that peace and equilibrium that you need to function normally. One of the things that I've found with harboring this kind of long-standing resentment is that it affects you physically.
Oh God, festers.
And if we do some research, we find that a lot of these so-called bad hormones are released when we harbor these resentments within us. And the arthritis or that pain that we feel or other debilitating illnesses are as a result of those resentment that we are harboring. We are no expert, but we found over time that much of the illnesses we face can be because of those.
All right,
things.
so based on what both of you would have said, then forgiveness is for you.
Yes.
So it
It's
starts
not
most
about-
times
It is not about the person, the
No.
other person.
they always say it's like what taking poison. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to
To
die
die.
from it.
But can you forgive and forget though?
No, you
Let
can't
me-
forget.
Yes.
Can I?
In terms of, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
Forgive and forget in terms of forget not meaning being absent from your mind.
Right.
But forget in the sense where you have forgiven the person and you're forgetting the hurt
Right.
in an attempt to move on. But not being absent-minded of the situation or not totally taking the situation out of your head and dash you over bush.
That's it. And before Sash come in now, to back that up, forgiveness then is just allowing yourself now to move forward. You know, so I forget my point.
And
A
then,
serious something.
before we go to start, so it is no longer moving from a place where you're hurt. So you forgive, you don't necessarily forget, but when you remember, it is no longer the anger
I remember it now.
and the pain that would have been there before.
Yes.
Sash, what is your
So I was just going to comment on the title because for our viewers' sake. So my thing is this: you're saying forgive and forget, remember or regret and regret. So for me, forgiveness, forget, as Keisha said, share the sentiments exactly. It's not that you're absent-minded or you have forgotten what you have gone through or what would have caused the hurt or forgetting that you are hurt. It is letting go. It is letting go of the emotions that come with the hurt, the pain or as you said, the emotions and the pain. And then, so remembering now, so you can tell us what you think it means in the comment section. And as I said, forgiveness, you let go of the resentment. Forgetting no means say, we're going to forgive the person. You forgive the person, you're going to figure say, why you don't say
You don't have amnesia, so you're not going to remember.
And but when you go to the section now that says remember, we are not saying that you're going to just keep it at the forefront of your mind, always replaying.
Right.
But it means that you're going to remember that the issue or that something, a situation was present.
Yes.
And when you remember, if you keep a hold of the situation, if you live in the situation presently in your mind, even if it happened 5 years ago, you're constantly living it, replaying it without making any effort to fix it, then you're going to live in regret because so you're going to have something like, say, me should I do this, or me shouldn't make this happen to me, or me give Tom too much leeway or something.
Right.
And you live in that moment and the regret festers now it add to the resentment and the
all
feeling
of that
pain and everything. But forgiveness, I will agree, forgiveness is freeing. And I believe while it is for ourselves, there are 3 types of forgiveness. When I was doing a little reading, me book up on it, and I said, hey, well, we can explore those later though.
But
let me ask this.
Yes.
forgiveness, can it be seen as a sign of weakness? So somebody
Never,
hurt
never.
me,
Never.
and I forgive the person.
No, and that
70
is
times 7.
That is right. And I think that is what is wrong with our society right now. Why
Because
things are
first,
like this.
oftentimes see forgiveness
Oh.
as a sign of
Right.
weakness.
And I was watching this thing in the media recently. I don't remember which court case, and the mommy say she has forgiven the perpetrator.
Right.
And everybody in a comment, me not forgive her for you. Me not be a whole and panda. And I feel them situation now. But they were so bitter that they could not forgive the person because they thought that the act of whatever was done was so bad that the person did not deserve forgiveness.
Right,
But
right.
me a Christian, so me have to go talk from this perspective, and because God help me if He forgive people.
Right,
Me
right.
have to talk about it. When you turn over certain things to God, He will help you to forgive. And the scripture, if you don't want to know, Ephesians 3 verse 31 and 30, Ephesians 4 31 and 32 says, let all bitterness, all, not some, and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. It means you have to forget it. And then He says,
Remember.
and be ye kind one to another,
Tender-hearted,
tender-hearted, forgiving one another.
Preach.
Even, yes, as God for Christ's sake had forgiven you. So if you, none of us are perfect. So if you do something to somebody else or even in the other space, you go want God for forgive you.
But
But
let's consider though the human response, the
Yes,
default
that's what-
response is now to situations that hurt us. While we are saying forgiveness is important for the person and so on and so forth, we are going to respond negatively to whatever hurt done
You're
to
gonna
us.
respond
You're
with
going to
human.
respond to that. You're going to feel the bitterness.
Yes.
You're going to feel the hatred. In fact, you're going to want to kill the person,
gonna
or you're going to
consume you.
retaliate. But is that a healthy environment to live in?
No.
And my other question is this now. How do I know I have truly forgiven?
when you feel alright, let me
So
tell you.
when you're no longer hurt by the situation,
Right.
but whatever it was you would have learned,
I disagree.
Well, let
No
her
problem,
finish.
no problem.
Yes.
learning might be for you where if something like this should happen again or if the signs come up, because everything that happened to us, I think that it should be a learning experience.
True.
And as we look at forgiveness, it's not an easy thing. So you know, we might say, oh,
That's it.
forgive and forget. No, it's
Easier
not
said than
easy to
done.
forgive. And it is very important that as you go through the process of forgiveness, say for example, you're in a relationship, a romantic or intimate relationship, and you are hurt, it is very important that you take time to heal.
True.
Because that healing is important. And so you come out of it being whole. Because when you don't heal from that, you hurt yourself. And then you're going to move on being hurt. And as we look at the forget, the healing, as Keisha would have said before, would have allowed you to let go of the situation and not seeing it in the same light, where it hurt you, you're angry, and all of that. So you're moving from another place. The remember and regret, I
Alright.
have to leave that to you.
Looking at when it comes on to forgiveness, I will not because we're Christian, we have to be realistic.
That's
True.
it.
We have to be realistic.
Forgiveness
because
is personal.
It is. And I'm telling you that you have to. You have to. You must work on it for you. You can't, sometimes you can't business with the other person. And I am saying that in essence, or when looking at it, you have to try. You have to try to work through it.
Right.
Because, and sometimes when you forgive people, you have to love them from far.
That is
You
True.
have to love people from far because
true.
some persons are toxic
That's
and
it.
they will always be wanting forgiveness
That's
because
why
they
I
will
say
always
learn.
do something that warrants
Gaslighting
"Oh, I have to
people,
forgive you, I have to
narcissists.
forgive you." So
Yes.
you have to love some persons
Yes.
from far. So if I know that Sash is constantly hurting me, love Sash to my heart. But having
Keep her at
Sasha
bay.
around
Keep her at bay.
is hurting me.
That is how the
and
lesson
Sasha's
comes in.
constantly doing things
Cut
which
off,
requires
girl.
forgiveness. You have to love her from far. Sometimes there's this saying
That's
that says,
protecting
you
your
have to cut off
boundaries.
your nose to spite your face. So you love Sasha, you know that you want the best for her. But whatever it is that she's doing that's affecting you so much that it not only requires a certain amount of forgiveness, but you're resenting.
Yes.
So even though you're forgiving, you're resenting. So it's almost like one step forward, two backward. One step forward, so you're not going forward.
And
Because you
listen
should
to-
learn, and then even within yourself, to forgiveness allows you to set certain boundaries, you know.
That's it.
So you see the signs.
So you have to love Sasha. Sasha love you from far.
I want to comment
Go
on
ahead.
something Judith said. She said that when you forgive, how do you know that you forgive you have forgiven the person? Is when you no longer feel the hurt. But I beg to differ, because I believe that you can forgive a person even in your hurt. Hurting.
Well,
yes.
explain. Let's hear that, because we just
can
drop a pin
hurt
right here.
knowing that you're hurt and the situation hurts you and it makes you feel bad. You can feel bad without resentment and bitterness towards the person who
Oh,
did
that's
it.
true.
So if
That
that
is
is what you
different.
meant
Yes,
by hurt,
That is
by not feeling
different.
the hurt, then I would say I beg to differ, because
All right.
The hurt here is the
I understand
anger,
there.
the
No, man.
resentment.
but that is the emotion that comes from
From
the
that, the
hurt.
natural response. I
Right.
get you.
But I'm saying, if it's a romantic relationship,
Hold on, the sister.
yes,
Wait.
if it's a romantic relationship as one relationship, and say for example, let's use the popular thing that a lot of people feel hurt about, infidelity.
Right.
The guy cheated on you today, or was being promiscuous while being committed to you, and then you found out. You now have a decision to make whether you want to stay or not, or if you want to forgive him or you want to move on. In the instance that you guys have the discussion and you said, okay, honey, I'm gonna forgive you. We're gonna move on past this. Does it mean that you've moved past your hurt? You have forgiven him in the sense that you're no longer gonna be holding this thing
Hostage.
over
Yes.
his head, and you're no longer gonna be held in bondage, as they say, hostage by what he did. You're gonna let go of those emotions. However, it's not going to. It will not negate what you're feeling. The fact that, listen, him really hurt me to my heart. I feel bad, but I have forgiven him. No resentment towards him. No bitterness.
Can
no
you
one
separate
to
though
him.
that resentment?
No.
Can you separate the resentment
Let you know
and the
why I say
natural
that.
response?
I believe so, because when, as I was giving whatever, when I was in that space, after I realized that I was, lighter or getting past the anger, whatever, I was still hurt. I still felt the need for my family. I still felt the need for the love from my parents. I still felt left out and all of those things. And it still made me feel bad. I was hurt. However,
Not
what
healed.
was different is that the bitterness, that's what I'm saying, the hurt, it doesn't, you aren't healed, but
finish
All
your
right,
point.
hold on.
what I'm saying, but the bitterness and the anger that I felt towards them, it no longer existed, but it didn't mean that I didn't feel bad. I
Get
was
you.
still hurt.
Yes.
I was not healed, but I was no longer angry, because now I was healing, and because of the ability to now forgive them. Forgiveness doesn't mean healing, Forgiveness means that you have let go of these feelings that are holding
That's
you
where I
hostage.
differ.
All right, I have
That
a
point
question.
is where I differ.
Forgiveness leads to healing, but it doesn't mean healing in the first stage.
I have a question.
Ultimately-
Come on, if you take on my toe now and cut my foot, or you thumb in my back, lift me down a ground, boof, and me bone them broke. And me get up and me say, Kamara, I forgive you. My bone still broke.
Yeah, man, we
One
get that.
question,
We get
one
that.
question.
I
We're
have a
going to take
question.
Keisha, but
I have
think
a
about
question.
the question. Is it real forgiveness if you have not healed, or if you're not willing to let go
I have
of
let
the
go
pain?
of the-
But let us hear, Keisha.
All right.
Think about the
The question
situation.
I have is not for you guys. The question I have is for the viewers. Can you really forgive somebody and still be lingering in the pain? What Sash is referring to, based on my understanding, is physical pain.
No.
Hold on,
Pain,
hold
emotional,
on, hold
physical.
on, hold on. I think that if you have forgiven, you have to work through the pain to get to forgiveness. My personal view, I don't think that you can still be hurting so bad and have forgiven the person. Because hurting means that you're still going through it.
Right.
Which means that you would not have dealt with the pain that you would have felt to forgive the person. So sometimes we say that, oh, Kamara, you hurt me, I may forgive you, but I'm still hurting.
I think
I
that
think that's
after
what she's saying.
forgiveness, forgetting should come naturally. Comment down below
Hold on.
what is your
Let me-
take on the situation.
Let me speak to that. We're not going to forget. We're not going to forget the situations that have hurt us.
No,
But
we can forget
if
the
we
pain.
can, if we can deal with the person without the hostility, I believe we would have
Right.
truly
Forgiven.
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 Now, what Sash is saying, yeah, man, I think remembering this is my working definition. This is how I assess how I have truly forgiven situations. When I remember certain persons or men, women, whomever have done me wrong, when I remember them without hostility, I know that I have truly forgiven. I understand what you are saying. That there are some default reactions we have towards hurtful situations. It does not take away the fact that I can forgive you, but me still feel the pain.
Right.
Me still feel the pain because, as she rightly say, if you drop, if me push you down the ground, you're gonna feel the natural response to that push, the hurt, the physical pain. But you can get up and say, all right, sure, me forgive you.
But that's
At
just
the
an
side,
analogy
right?
to the mental.
But
It's an
does
analogy
that
to
mean-
the, one moment. It's an analogy to the mental and the emotional. So I understand that dynamic to it. What do you have to say? Please comment down below.
And I am not disregarding
What she said,
what
Aisha.
Aisha said,
No, we're not.
Because also, I must say to you also that even after what you're laughing about,
She can't manage.
but what I am saying is this, from my own
Experiences.
experience as well. The process forgiveness is not a one. Let me just
I
move-
said
we have
it.
the- Hold on, let me say that back. Keep calm, sister.
That's why I'm saying.
Healing.
I'm sorry.
Healing.
I'm sorry.
The process of healing.
Yes.
I will agree with you. Healing is not a one-day thing.
No.
But I can forgive you in the moment. In some instances.
No.
For
Hold
some
on.
people, Keisha, hold on, man. For some people, I can forgive you in the instance that I realize that you have hurt me. And that can be from my natural demeanor, who I am. I'm a forgiving
There
person.
you go.
But it doesn't
Yes.
mean that I have overcome the hurt or the
Guess
pain,
what?
whatever. What I do believe is that the more we get into, the more you realize that you're forgiving the person, it's the easier it is for you to
Have you
heal.
forgiven you?
That's an important question.
That's
an important question.
So,
I know.
no, sometimes we can forgive persons because sometimes we do things where our motives are right or things happen and
It was upon me
I'm sorry.
forgiving. It was upon my initiation of forgiveness that my healing process started.
Alright.
I was not healed in the moment when we wake up the morning. As me tell you, say me did a prayer and sitting and me decide say after months, weeks after me say you know what, let it go, Sash. It never means say my heart did fix. It never means say me did heal. It never means say the default reaction that I had.
you
to
were
the hurt
still in the
already here.
process.
If I may.
Anyway, we need
I'm
to talk about
sorry.
regret and
Yes.
thinking.
Because sometimes we say that we are forgiven and we have not. So this is now how we remember.
Which is why we had
Right.
to ask the question.
This,
How
hold
do
on,
we know?
hold on. Look at it. This is what I am saying. You don't have to agree
Forgiveness
with me.
means say we let it go
Listen.
the resentment.
No, you don't have
So
to
I
agree
don't
with
agree.
me.
There are two types of forgiveness.
So,
Decisional and emotional. Sometimes you make the decision to forgive, but the emotional hurt
Alright.
is still there. And
Alright.
so when you're forgiving, the emotional is also important.
We have to look at it.
So we forgive the person. We say we forgive the person,
Say.
but we still living
We
with
say.
that
Because of the type
emotional.
of, because you have the
Say.
exonerating forgiveness, you have the forbearance forgiveness, and the other one I think is one other one, did it, right? But each of them applies to the different aspect of the forgiveness. But it doesn't mean that forgiveness is absent.
Is it holistic? Does it entails everything?
Can we just
Go on,
talk
go on.
about
Kesha had a point.
Me
Kesha
beg to
have
know,
a
because we
point.
not agree. Listen, viewers, forgiveness is a choice and you have to make that for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes we remember what we would have forgiven somebody, the wrong that they would have done to us, and then we regret it.
After you forgive them, you regret it, you forgive
Yeah,
them.
you remember when they regret it.
regret me forgive you. Worse than
So
it
how
can be.
remember and regret coming then?
Because remembering
Remember
the
them
premise, the premise, the definition.
Yeah, girls, this is real chick chat.
Alright, so the definition, the working definition that we started with was forget means not forgetting absent-mindedly but letting it go. So in this case, remember, which is the opposite of forget, means that you have not let it go. So because you have not let go of the situation by remembering it, living in the situation recurringly, though time is passing by, you're stuck in the past, in the situation, you're not letting them go because you don't forgive. You're going to live in a regret then. What if you go there and ask yourself a lot of, what if? What if I had done this differently? What if me never friend Kamara, she wouldn't do me that?
Should I give up the boy bone and they will
Yes.
feel so?
Right? So the remember regret part is very easy. So I'm saying, what do you prefer? Personally for me, I prefer to forgive and let it go. Free up myself
That's
and move
it.
on. I don't want to be in 2023 living in 2017.
Right.
So me personally feel say forgive and move on. But
Alright.
I live with the whole thing, the whole me I walk.
Guess what?
Go.
Guess what? We'll be down in the comment section.
We will
Continuing
respond to
the
you.
discussion with you all, but let's wrap it up. So
No,
Kamara.
Yes.
we need to wrap
We
it
need
up.
more time to people.
Listen, we need
A
to
part two
dissect
coming
this.
up then.
No, sir, we need to dissect it and we need to
We have,
dissect it
all right,
today.
producer, so we have 4 minutes. Talk, Keisha. Listen, and you know, let me just add this because I think it's relevant to our now, our living now. You see, society now, you go on Instagram and you're like, you say, yo, me can't take the negativity here so early. It's like people are not open to forgiving these days. It's all about revenge.
For the week. That's
That's
what
what they say. But me think say if you are able to forgive,
Makes you
power
stronger.
to you.
Yeah.
Me I tell you, not just for the person, but you say forgiveness is free and it lifts your energy.
And also, from a biblical standpoint, as Christians, we have to forgive to receive forgiveness.
That's it.
And we want to get forgiveness from God.
Pity God
So-
not like man.
So if it is that, me I come to church, go and sister, hi son, what you mean can't jump on this
That's a
stage?"
hypocrisy. That's why they full conversation.
So she would have done something to me and I have not forgiven her. But every day I wake up and I pray, God, please forgive me of my sins and X, Y, Z.
And if you
So
go around
I-
and do something, you want somebody to forgive you.
I would want Kamara to forgive me. So we as Christians, and we can't speak so loosely in terms of where forgiveness is concerned because we serve a forgiving God.
True.
And He, in order for us to receive this forgiveness that we so
We have
long
to give
for
it.
and desire, we have to forgive. So we want to draw from a fountain and we don't want to extend
Christ-like
the blessing.
behavior.
So as Christians now we have to forgive. And even for the persons who are non-Christians, hey, beg you know,
For your one good.
forgive. I love them from far.
All right, me I'll
Love
shut
them
them
from
off.
far.
I'm gonna shut you all
But
up.
my
Guess what?
takeaway-
Let's just take the takeaway.
My
Yes.
takeaway is that at the end of the day,
30 seconds or less.
forgiveness is for you and for you only. If you have done somebody wrong, work on you, and then you go to the person and make it right. All right, that is my takeaway.
Well, for me, this is how I want to end it. On a different note, same context, but that self-forgiveness is important. If you really want to have a wholesome life, enjoy your relationships, you have to deal with you, forgive yourself. Sometimes we've done stuff that we are disappointed in. Cause us to be disappointed in ourselves. Sometimes you have to let that go. Understand that you're a human being. You'll make mistakes. Learn from your errors and move right along.
Similar to what Kamara would have said.
Let me go first, we're going to wrap it up. So, for me, forgiveness is free. it was not until I experienced forgiveness that I experienced the freedom that allowed me to move on in my life, to love wholly, to treat people differently, and yes.
So, for me, forgiveness is everything. And if you forgive and you allow yourself to heal, you will learn to forget. And it is very important that when you look at forgiveness, when you forgive the person, it is important that you forgive you as well.
Yourself.
Now, until then, remember to subscribe, like, share, comment.
Notification
Hit
bell.
that.
Until then,
Bye.